right, so I wanted to share a little bit of history with you all here. This is the meaning and the origin of my birth given name. It says the gender is masculine. I'm not sure why they would say that. Usage is, it has a usage within English and French. Well, I'm not gonna really go through all of those, but you can actually just see them for yourself. I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description as well. From the Roman name Meridius, a derivative of Maurus, St. Maurice was a 3rd century Roman soldier from Egypt. He and the other Christians in his legion were supposedly massacred on the orders of an emperor Maximian for refusing to worship Roman gods. Thus, he is the patron saint of infantry soldiers. This name was borne by a 16th century Byzantine, probably didn't pronounce that right, but whatever, emperor. Another notable bearer was Maurice of Nassau, called Mauritius in Dutch, 17th century Prince of Oregon, of Orange, or Orange, or I don't know whether that's Orange or Orange, something, who helped establish the Dutch Republic. The name has been used in England since the Norman conquest, usually in the spelling of Morris or Morris. Strange. I've actually have a lot of friends in the UK and the United Kingdom. I've met a lot of people from there actually. Okay, so the variant is like Morris, which is in English, diminutive Mo, which is also English. Feminine form, I have no idea how to pronounce that, but it's in French. Other languages and cultures, as you can see, exactly, they're just by the how they're spelt, and you can only imagine how they're basically pronounced. But you can even see like all the all the other nationalities are involved, or should I say, just the cultures that are involved in that, or at least have a uniqueness into it. I guess this is the popularity rating. Australia, Belgium, Canada, England, France, medieval. Is that really a medieval England? Wow, I did not know that. Netherlands, New Zealand, United States seems to have a lot of heavy usage of it. But I wanted to share this with you all. With a little bit of history about this. I know I haven't had many videos of late. I've been really busy lately dealing with a lot of stuff I cannot go into details about because, as you know, when you're involved with any type of state that's basically on the verge of turning into or becoming a surveillance state, everything you basically say, do, or hear, or even plan is basically under attack of eavesdropness of unwanted ears and unwanted eyes. Most of you probably have had to dealt with individuals like that yourselves. If you are a target individual who is also a victim of this program that seeks to act upon mass genocide and what's that word I'm looking for? Mass genocide and unconsenting experimentation. Nothing too special here, but I wanted to also make a short explanation on certain things. The enemy is not just those that could very well be stalking you or tormenting you or targeting you. There could also be there are times where you can even become your own enemy because of the significance of this technology, and not even just that, but just emotional stasis and all that, how things play out. A lot of us tend to have our own addictions, myself included. We're only human. We have things that we love. We have things that we like that tends to get the better of us from time to time. This also can cause in conjunctions of other people. We've probably dealt this somewhere along the line upon growing up. You've got envy, hate, bitterness, greed, ignorance, um, corruption, lust, jealousy, and there's many, many more, of course. But another one would be fear, but in the end, like as a prime example, even though people do are afraid, you should never allow that fear to control you. You gotta even though you are afraid, you have to have the courage to persevere and move forward, no matter how tough the going gets. One of the main things that the enemy has always sought to basically get out of us is submission. Well, I'm one of many who basically refuses to submit to this satanic system or whatever type of interest or whatever type of direction it wishes to go towards or basically implement. Even if I may lose my life one day due to this targeting experience, or someday of even when I get older, I'm well aware of the situational circumstances, but I am determined to at least do the best I can, or the best of my abilities to help those out in need. It may not be much, it may be very little, but the effort is what counts, and the I believe that's what's something that's needed for all of us, really. We really, all of us really need that extra bit of protection right there, because if you've really have been through this stuff, you know that you've had family turn on you, former friends, for even work colleagues, co-workers, all kinds of stuff, even people you've never even met seem to turn, just basically roll their eyes at you. Who knows what they're doing, or who knows what they're thinking or plotting, right? And it seems to be like a never-ending thing, right? It seems like it's around almost every corner, every time you step out, every town you go to, every building you walk in, even to just do stuff that is only substantial to yourself, stuff that you would do just to basically, the basic necessities to survive in this world. But they come up with excuses saying, you're unwanted here, you're unwanted there. But the thing is, you're not really doing anything to anybody. You're not bothering anybody, you're not even causing any harm. I've literally sat on a bench and did nothing but wait for about a good 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, right? And what happened was, this is the first time I'm in this town. I'm not going to say where it was, but I'm just sitting there, and they ran the smear campaign scenarios within the span of a few minutes prior to when I had to before I went and sat down. The first attempt they tried was a particular individual of a younger age. I'm not going to say when or where or who. And this person was obviously acting off on the script, obvious obnoxious behavior that is, that's audible to where it's expanding out into an area of where people would be several feet from this individual. This happened around the bus stop. Obviously, whenever they run scenarios like this, they're going to have someone in the background area, which is why I bought a 360 cam, but I'm not using it at this time, right? So I obviously knew what that was. I just ignored the person, didn't really bother dealing with that or whatever. And the person even made it super obvious because they were pacing back and forth after a while. Another attempt happened when an elderly individual showed up, and he was pointing out the fire engine trucks, which I still ignored. The entire time of when this is happening, when they didn't really get any type of responses out of me, I ended up getting hit with their energy at least several times just to get a jolt out of me, or who knows what the crap they were really trying to do. So as this progresses and I'm still not responding to anything of what they're throwing at me or doing, they eventually decide to go along the lines of a noise campaign. This is when you got your all types of things that can, I'm not going to name any specifics, but you've all probably have dealt with this some way, shape, or form. The thing is, from what I learned through my experience, is that you yourself can become your own enemy when it comes to this. And it's off the pretext, or it's off the very basis of how you're being manipulated. One of the things that that manipulation requires is for you to take action, right? But if you don't take action, the game can never begin. If you don't participate in the game, it can never start. It can never progress. It can never move forward. And it seems like it's always an unwanted invitation into these games, into these mind games, these deception games, any kind of thing you could possibly think of when it's dealing with this program. The problem with this stuff is almost everybody within the neighborhood who has been recruited into this system is being used and manipulated, and they are not really aware of the full consequences that are going with this. They don't really understand the stakes of a lot of the stuff that they've gotten themselves involved in, or even how big of a problem that this stuff can turn out to be. There have been people who have been brought to justice regarding of this situation of this program before. It has happened, but it's incredibly hard to I'm not gonna jerk anyone's chain around here, right? It's incredibly difficult to get to get true justice from this. It truly is. A lot of people who do have the expertise and a lot of the know-how to really push this stuff forward through a legal system. Problem is, a lot of people are paid off, a lot of people are lied to, and a lot of people are compartmentalized. And there's a lot of compartmentalization that is involved with this. But looking on the brighter side, we've had millions of people, despite the odds, right? Despite the amount of corruption, despite the amount of manpower that goes into this system, we have had people who basically put their foot down and did not tolerate any of this. Even if it may at some point cost them their lives, they still fought against the system to the bitter end. We could really use some brave people like that now, and we do have them out there. There are people who are basically so severely targeted. It's because of the effort they put in to fight this stuff. And a lot of these people's efforts are not in vain because so many people remember the solutions that these individuals have found. And then they pass that information on for other people to use that for their own protection, to basically put progress that pressure onto this system, this totalitarianistic system. Many people who are basically progressing out there doing all of this stuff, the research, the a lot of the evidence gathering. You want to know something? You may not hear this from many people, but I believe that not only myself, but so many other people are truly, truly proud of all of you for all of what you've done. It may not be easy dealing with these issues because of how significant they are and because of how problematic they can be, but never, never lose that will to fight, no matter how bad things get. In the end, we're all not going to be around forever, but you got to really think about it. Live a life that's truly, truly worth it. If you have a family, live a life knowing damn well that you fought for their freedoms and live the life that you fought for their protection to the bitter end. It may seem very little, but it's actually quite large in comparison to what a lot of other individuals are doing or saying. And what I mean by that is I very well mean the people who run these smear campaigns. That little bit of effort outweighs any of their ill will or their ill actions towards others. And never forget that.